Um, yeah, actually, I looked all the lists that was in this conference, and it's doctor, 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 and I'm a paramedic. I'm finished of this conference group, but I'm having a great time of listening to this and be a part of this. I'm very happy to be here and talk to you about this and really my journey that happened. Um, and I've got to watch because I know I got 15 minutes to go through. In this presentation, I've done 3 other presentations, some citizens, because I do that. Y'all are at the 30,000 flight level versus I'm knocking it down to about 500. Okay, because I used to be on a helicopter too, so I already know that. So, let's start for me. Okay, November 16th, 2017. Okay, I am a stroke. Okay, I'm a survivor on November 16th, 2017. Um, I know that time loss is brain loss, and I know that I am coming as a stroke survivor, and I'm trying to give it to our citizens that how they can get their own kind of superpower. How can they help their bodies into that? So I know I have aphasia. Okay, I know it took December and January, each word had to take some time, to move that tongue and move from that brain to the vocal cords, and it was just crazy for me and all. But finally, I would kind of spit those words out and get them ready, into my language and all. And I know that the left side of my Broca's is my Wernicke's sides of whatever. I'm always looking at that. And does anybody know what the first name for Wernicke? First, Carl. Okay, Carl Wernicke. Okay, I'm Carl Shank. So anyway, again, stroke the experience of aphasia. I know my left side, was the hit to this. Okay, and with the aphasia and how it has to have the treatments and the care and the compassion of it. I know the right side, humor, but humor versus humor, I know it's all up there, and I know that I can hit that just fine. So just quickly, I know how how can it happen? How can you have this super punch to your body? How can it work of your young ages through your middle ages and all that? And so my timeline is awesome, 0 to 50, to November 2017 was when I'm 51, but January 10th, 1966 started it. I'm a child, a teenager. I grew up in Palm Valley, this area, in Ponte Vedra Beach area. I'm a graduate in Fletcher, that's close to this hotel here. A lot of fishing and hunting and all those kind of things. I started my college as I was going to be criminology. My dad was a police officer. My whole family, are cops, and that's what I was going to be at and all. But I came to a car accident when I was on summertime, and I found to an accident, and I had kind of a vision, an epiphany for me, and this was on the road. Okay, it was going after. We had 4 other patients. 2 were dead. 2 were trauma alert that needed help. And when I saw that they were doing that, I'm like, I want to do that. I want to go that way. And so I started as a Jacksonville Fire Academy, recruit in 1985. And then I went as a state St. Johns County Vocational School and did my paramedic, and went into my beginning of a career as a volunteer firefighter, and then went to the St. Johns County EMS, and then it merged into the fire department in 1998 into that. And so going through that area and through 20 to 35 of my age and all, I started doing a wild career of being a firefighter paramedic. I was a flight paramedic in 1991 that I went to Baptist and went to Life Flight. And I see my guy there too. I had a great time with them up to 1995, and then I went to Trauma One as well. I loved being a part of EMS and fire, and all these things for extrication, all these missions objectives, you know, EMS, fire, extrication, hazmat, repelling, all these kind of things that have to, you know, move through that body, you know, and that soul, and make sure that you're doing that right as our public safety. I became the operations chief at the department in 2001, and became the assistant fire rescue chief up to about 2011. And when I became the fire rescue chief 2011, until I'm still there. I did step down my position actually last year, 2018, to decided to be working the projects within the department. And so we have our new fire chief, Jeff Pravat, that I'll let you know. He's doing a great time with his department as well. So, but again, figuring out those ages were just hitting me sometimes, or, you know, now 51, and it was starting me in February 2017 that I went to that fight for air team, and I loved it, you know, being a part of that. And there I'm in the middle, okay, right there in the middle, and had a great time with them. And I got about to the 20th floor, and I felt this, you know, I had checking my pulse, and I'm like, you know, I'm hitting the AFib now. You know, what the heck? Why is this happening? And so about the 20th floor is really hitting me bad. And so I finally got it through the stairs. There I am, finally made it, you know, to the top. And there I am. I'm just wondering if I'm gonna hold myself, or if they're gonna have to, you know, get me to the ER or whatever. But I knew that I'm gonna need some help with my body. So I was really looking at a lot of exercise after this. I was looking at a lot of how I needed to change my food and all of that. I did not want to do any medications. I didn't want to do any kind of you know, procedures, ablations, all these things I was looking at. You know, I still have an AFib back and forth, my hypertension. I thought, I'm 51, you know, I'm not a Corvette, you know, the guy anymore. You know, I'm a little antique, you know, kind of guy now, you know, and I got to do something. So I try to do better until November 16th, 2017.
I'm SHank. I am the fire rescue chief for St. Johns County Fire Rescue, and I am a stroke survivor. On November 16th, 2017, actually, it was a beautiful day. I was in the conference room, we call the war room, a meeting with all of my deputy chiefs. Suddenly, I felt just strange, like lost of all of the right side, that I could not move. I could look at them, and I could look at them, but I could not talk to them.
You know, Chief Shank had his hand over his face, so I knew that was a little unusual. So I just asked him, "Are you okay?" And as soon as he moved his left hand down, I realized that he had a stroke. You know, knowing what I know about strokes, after doing this a long time, it was a decision was that he needed to go to Baptist downtown to Dr. Hannell.
The whole Baptist neuro team and EMS instituted the stroke protocol in such a timely manner that he's sitting here today.
He got the best care he could get, the fastest he could get it. You know, you use the term chief, and it's not chief. It's my friend for over 30 years. So I think at the moment, it's not chief. You know, it's Carl.
All right, so here we go. Door to the needle. We've been talking about this before. How's it going to happen? So there I am at that administration building. I'm in that top, the war room. At the top, I was about 1558. Again, 358. So I'm moving rescue 12 about 4:05. I'm heading to the flight of 4:34. I'm going to the lab CT, and sometimes I word this, so I say groan, but it's groin. I already know that. So got to be careful, but I can do that. And I know my stent, my reperfusion of that by 17:42. And again, calculating that about 100 minutes there. And I was doing a bunch of calculations of that to see that's how going to happen. I'm just so helpful. I'm just so thankful of the group that did this with me and moving that. And we already know all this stuff. And I do that presentation from the citizens. I'm going through of all of this and all. And so one of the things I do is I show my really beautiful picture, that can happen to you. And that's me. So, that's me. And so when I'm showing them, this is what it looks like, that can happen. I said, it's got to be that area, where the clot is, it can be clogged, that area that the citizen were looking at that. And I'd have to talk to them because sometimes you guys have all of the knowledge and you have all the lingo and the terminology and definitions of your medical and all of that. And, have all the NIHIS and the tiki and all these other things, that can go back and forth to our citizens and all. And so I had to kind of step it down a little bit because I'm a firefighter, okay? And I said, sometimes you have the houses that are around your brain. It's like a development of your residences that have all that area and all, and you got to make sure they're working all right. But there's a big problem here because if you got fires, that are going into your brain like that, and you have a clot into that hydrant because you have a water main and all, you got to get this thing, you got to have it, you got to get it pulled out. And I know we're talking here, we were throwing before like a plumber, kind of thing. You can, a snake auger or a, stent kind of thing. And also you got to open that hydrant. You got to get it going, or you got more heavy fire, into those areas. That could probably be Broca and Wernicke areas, area that are hitting that you got to hit to. So how are you gonna get to it? So obviously we've been talking about how this works, and again, I'm talking about the snake auger thing again and all. But here we go. We're back. So the hydrant worked. Here comes the blood, this reperfusion. Here comes the water into it. Here's a save of the fires. Of the residences and the forests around, but, Wernicke and Broca area or whatever, had a little bit of renovations that was going to have to be a part of this and all. So back, before, after, that's me, So when I was talking with them, and again, I'm always calculation of things and all, neurons and all. And again, I just knock up the neurons, 100 billion neurons roaming the brain. And I know that's about 1 minute, that will die, about 2 million of that. And so when I ischemic stroke, the barricade of that and all, it dinged about 100 minutes. Okay. So when I calculate, okay, sorry, about 200 that died. Okay. So 100 billion minus 200 million equals 99,800,000,000 that are still there. So hooray. So they're still there. So when I gave them that calculation to our senators, when we were looking at that legislation, I was making sure their neurons are storing up in their brains, and they made a laugh about it. So but that's why they got me a unanimous to get moving that into that committee. So it was pretty cool. But again, while 2018, last year, this was last year, okay, between the stroke and all the issues of the aphasia and the treatment and transports and all that, I had to go to the working hard of 2018 to hit the AFib still issues that I had of my body. I had 2 ablations. I had a cardioversion time. I had a rechange of different medications. To that, back to Ticacin and again, ablations and a cardioversion. And again, working hard with these groups. And I know with Dr. Handel and his group, and that I have now is I'm an AFib survivor. Okay. And Dr. Ibrahim and his group is doing a great time with me. I'm very, very thankful of them. Again, just last year. Okay. It just is finishing in December. you know, so I've been here now 2019, what, for 4 months. And I'm just, again, I'm just so blessed about it. So again, working hard. I'm a part of an advocacy of being the American Heart Association. I've been to Tallahassee twice, 2 different things. And again, being at the Senators early to do that, and some other kind of awards and things like that. I'll just quickly.
May is National Stroke Awareness Month.
Dr.
Stroke is
Halen,
the
us
fifth
do
leading cause
this
of death in
kind
the
of
United States. And this morning, we are talking
things.
about the warning signs, and the St. Johns County Fire Chief is here. He's sharing his story with us. So joining me now is Chief Carl Shank. We also have Dr. Ricardo Hanel, who is the Medical Director of Baptist Health Stroke and Cerebrovascular. It's a hard word to say, center. So you suffered a stroke. This was actually while competing in the 2017 Fight for Air Climb. Tell me a little bit more about what happened.
So, yeah, the beginning of that year, 2017.
Okay, and I'm gonna stop that because obviously I'm getting running off time here. So, but Dr. Hale and us, we had a great time talking with News 4 Jax, and any time on May. Again, for me, I'm making sure that I can help with any ways of our care and compassion to our citizens around, and doing the right of our stroke and all. I actually working with my department. That's my race team. They got to travel with me everywhere now, I guess. That's I'm like a race driver now. They got to, you know, like a pit, you know, guys or whatever. But we're always doing that all the time. I know in our EMS and our protocols and all, doing our stroke alerts and our STEMIs, trauma alerts, all these kind of things, making sure we're doing the right ways of doing that. Now, just one last and quick thing, okay? And I would tell you this because your body, when you're going of a hard year on 2018, you still got to make careful of your own kind of issues, problems that could hit that on you. So I had to throw this because in April 9th, 2018, right in the middle between stroke and AFib, and my wife and I were trying to go. It was our anniversary, and so we're heading to the Bahamas, and we had a beautiful time in Nassau, and we had a nice scooter, and here we go, and then we had a problem. Really? So the problem of the scooters, you got to be very careful of the ways of using it, and make sure that if a rock is going to hit you, as getting a truck that will hit you. So that was me. My wife, she had her humerus in her nose and all of that. For me, it was my scalp, my ear, and everything was good for my head, even though I had the stroke about 6 before of all of that. And so, you know, we worked very hard for those April to December of all the PT and stuff. I had 4 ribs and all of that. I forgot to put that chin thing on, so I'm always doing my finger at people. Make sure you put your chin strap on too as well. So being fast and furious on my day, on my year for 2018, my wife, she's a bionic woman now. You know, she's worked hard of that arm and all of that, and her cardiac. But I'm not the 6 million man guy. I can't do with that. But I can be Rambo on it because I'm gonna keep hitting it. So I will tell you that. So, but again, I've been telling all the superpowers for our citizens how to work your body, go make your medications right, make with your physicians right, work your superpowers, or understand of your be fast, of your initiatives, of your family, and all of that. I know St. Johns County, and I'll just tell you, throw them, you know, into the slide here. I love this department. I love EMS. I love the missions and challenging the citizens and all. And I very thank you for letting me be a part of this. So thank you.